podcast coming to you live from King of Prussia, Pennsylvania. Now I have with me a fellow aviator. You may recognize him on YouTube as Russ Can Fly.
Hey, what's going on? This is Russ Can Fly.
Yes, he can. He flew all the way down here by my arrival from Cape Cod. So I'm on my way back to Florida. It's too cold up in Cape Cod, a little nippy, and I said, I'm probably gotta fly south. Anyway, great to see you on a nice Sunday, and we had a nice church service and prayer for us.
It was a beautiful church service, and one of the things that I was telling my brother here is that that's something that I always make sure that I do. And most of folks know that part of my platform always deal with, definitely deals with things spiritual as well. You know what I mean? So this is not only a aviation journey, but a spiritual journey as well.
For sure. I caught Ross prior to me getting my private license, and I said, "Oh, here's a brother who looks just like me." Thinks just like me because he's saying the Lord's Prayer before he takes off.
Right.
And it was with your daughter and your wife.
Right.
And little Sammy.
That's right. No, actually, that was when I was still renting the Cessna 172 from Leading Edge Aviation.
That's right. So I said, okay, maybe there's hope for me. But anyway, how is your aviation journey going?
It's going well. I mean, right now, as most people know, if you haven't seen on my channel, I am trying to get my instrument rating. And I will say the instrument rating training is the most challenging training I have ever done since I've taken up this whole aviation thing.
Sure.
And I think one of the reasons why it's so difficult is it demands a level of precision that during our private pilot training we may talk about, but we don't necessarily have to execute.
As long as the plane is in the air.
Correct. Correct.
Pretty well
and you're not running into anything hard, right? But this is very demanding from the standpoint that you have to fly your altitude with precision, you have to fly your heading with precision, you have to make sure that you are communicating with ATC or air traffic control with precision, and you also have to make sure that you're navigating using the instruments inside the aircraft, whatever they may be, with precision.
But also trusting your instruments.
Correct. I mean, and that's one of the things that's kind of interesting too, is because one of the things that we don't realize is just how much our eyes play a role in everything that we do. Now, I can't account for, the population for which sight is not, in their reality.
But they do have blind pilots, believe it or not.
Yeah, well,
and they fly straighter than me.
Yeah, probably. But, just to say, like, without sight or vision, as soon as that's taken away from us, our brains start just making stuff up. And so you start getting all of these false feelings about what you think the aircraft is doing in the sky, and it is just crazy. And I will tell you, there is a factor called autokinesis. It's one of the things that come up during the training.
On the test.
Exactly. And autokinesis stands for the proposition that if you look at a light and you're flying and it's dark and you stare at it too long, it feels like it's moving, or it looks like it's moving. I've actually experienced that, and that was really crazy. And so the reason why that was nuts is because we were coming in for a landing, and I'm looking at the runway in lights, and all of a sudden the runway in lights look like they're moving. So I'm chasing. That was going to be a real bad thing.
Look at this instrument.
Oh, it's time to get food.
Yeah, let's get some food here. You twisted my arm. I'm going to have the salmon tacos.
Okay. Did you want 2 or 3 of those?
I'll do 3 for you.
Sam. Yeah, we're going to do that.
Anything else to drink other than the water? Or are we okay with the water?
Water's fine.
Water's fine for me. I say 8 hours the bottom.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not flying today. It's too windy.
Exactly.
I'll need that shit.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, so this is really neat, coming back home. This is Norristown and King of Prussia area where I grew up thinking and looking at the sky and thinking, geez, where's that airplane going? What is it? What are they doing? Where are they going? And, several decades later, I'm not even going to give a number of decades, all of a sudden I'm now of the world's population. Which just kind of blows your mind.
Yeah. But let me ask you this. I know this is your video and I'm on, your time, but I am curious. Have you done a video talking about how you started your aviation journey? If not,
I did.
Okay. All right.
That was Southern Fun 2024.
Okay.
That's on YouTube video. Check that out.
All right, so make sure you check that out, because one of the things about being part of general aviation or being a professional pilot, the backstory on how people find this is always fascinating to me. So I thought I did watch it. I'm going to go back and watch it. You guys need to go back and watch that video, because I think it sets the foundation for why you should like, subscribe, to this channel, and understand who this person is behind the camera and why they're doing what they're doing, because you may be asking yourself, can I do this? And you may watch this person talk about how they got to this journey, and you'll say to yourself, this guy's just like me. Yeah. And so if that
I'm
is
better
the case,
than this guy.
but at least you can go and do it.
Yeah. How I got into the aviation gig of such, I was during the pandemic. Everyone was inside, and I had not one but two shoulder rotator cuff surgery operations, and I prayed from hip surgery years ago, and I'm kind of just on the couch. I said, I could easily watch YouTube whenever you're able to get outside. So I decided at that moment in time to just, it's a kid, kind of imagine that, this guy, geez, where are they going? YouTube is brilliant tool, because I went on there and, the channels that are recommended for you to watch popped up was a drone video of a guy flying in Miami, on the beach of Miami, and flying along cruise ships going out to sea. Okay. He had a DJI Mavic Pro 3. Okay. Mavic Pro 2 rather. So I'm looking at this video, and it's so crisp and so clear. And the people on the boat are waving, and I'm like, I want one of those. So I'm at the stage in life I could easily have gotten one or two or whatever. I said, I've always had a fascination with aviation. I've always been afraid of science and all the numbers and all the dials and all the gaps. And I talking about vertigo before you even take up in the air. I said, let me just prove something to myself. If I can take the drone pilot license of the Part 107 FAA, so I'm now a certified drone pilot for utility companies and whatever else. Nice. Having no experience, I went into Kingsville. Took their 2-week course.
With what are their names? I forget the
Martha and John Kidd.
Who've been around for a billion years.
And so they're talking about, segmented circles and all this other stuff. And I'm looking at the diagram of the runways, and I'm like, this is how much I didn't know about aviation. I'm looking at the numbers on the diagram of the runways. I'm like, how do they come up with those numbers? I thought it was some arbitrary number. Well, I want 1-8, well, I want 1-7. So I said, oh, that's the numbers. Yeah, all of a sudden things are clicking. Pop. So with that being said, I took the test, 65-question test, intimidated with myself. I take the test before now. Go downstairs, get my test results, and they just hand me the piece of paper. What's all this? And I said, did I pass? Just a blank stare. I'm like, what's the score? Where's the score? And so I look and it said, 90. Okay, not bad. Not bad. So I walked out of the airport, proud and everything, my chest sticking up. At that point, my aviation journey was satisfied. It's like a mic drop.
Right.
So I started talking with a few of my friends, pilot friends, who've been for years trying to encourage me to fly, to get a license. I said, I already got that. I already got that. Leave me alone. He looked at my license. It was like a head scratch. wait a minute, this says FAA. I said, yeah, it says FAA.
Right.
So I'm going to now say that I'm done with all this.
Right.
So they said, well, they looked at it and said, wait a minute, this is a real license. I said, yeah, I've been telling you that.
Yeah.
So they said to me, it's just going to take a few more hours for you to study for private pilot's license.
Right.
So I said, geez, do I really have to? It was a lot of studying.
Do I really want to do this? I don't know.
So, with that being said, I took the test. 2 days before the test, back up, I went to the Flight School Service.
Okay.
Keep it nameless. Because I've gone through a few. I can't tell you the number of instructors I've gone through. With that being said, I went in for a discovery flight.
Okay.
How much is a discovery flight? I don't want to spend a whole bunch of money and flying, go around in a circle, wasting my money.
Right.
It said it's the same amount as the first lesson, very lesson. I said, okay. Well, I want to still do the discovery flight because I'm not sure, quite certain as to whether I want to do this. It's a commitment thing.
Right.
So they said, look, we'll throw in a free logbook. I said, oh, you mean to tell me I get something for free? That's the only thing I got free out of flying.
Right.
So, the gist of it was, okay, well, we can give you a logbook, we'll put 1 hour in. If you never do any more flying ever again, you put that logbook on your coffee table and just tell your friends when you come over, hey, I got 1 hour. 1 hour. So I said, all right, I get something free, I'm on it.
Right.
So, take the first lesson, the instructor, keep nameless also. As I told you, by the time I finished with my private, I had 9 different instructors.
Wow. 9 instructors?
9 instructors. Wow. And it took me about 25 hours to learn to taxi.
Wow.
I stepped on the rudder pedal, the right rudder, I go left.
Oh, wow.
And it was like crazy.
That's real scary. That's scary.
It wasn't just scary. I felt like I was drunk.
Right.
It was like, they told me to do something. So, nonetheless, he said to me, each and every lesson, look, I am the PIC today. So in other words, don't fight me over the controls.
Right.
I'm not going to do anything. So the first flight, I'm flying around looking outside the airplane, outside the window.
You're not flying, you're a passenger.
Yeah, he tapped me on the shoulder. It's like, you're supposed to be flying the plane.
Right.
I'm like, okay, yeah, whatever. So about the 7th lesson, he said to me, I'm the PIC today. And I knew driving into the airport, it's like, this son of a gun, tell me PIC. I didn't even know what PIC stood for.
Right.
Something had to be smart aleck to me. He came out saying, well, my last name is PICOTT, P-I-C-O-T-T.
Oh, right.
I said something to him to the effect, look, you may be the PIC today, but I'm the PICO-T-T. And his mouth dropped. He said, what's that? I said, that's my last name.
Right.
He's like, well, I didn't know that. It's like, you've been flying with me for seven lessons. You don't know my last name. So I coined the phrase, pilot in command of takeoffs and touchdowns, because you will know, get that airplane up, you got to get it back down.
That's right.
Landing is not enough.
That's right.
The ICO. So I came up with merchandise. I said, see, you have your Russ Can Fly merchandise, which you can find where?
Yeah, you can fly. You can see my merchandise right on the YouTube channel itself. It'll actually be down in the description. And a lot of times when you're watching the video and you're clicking that thumbs up button, you will actually see either a little, there'll be like a little picture sometimes in the video itself, or it'll definitely be down in the description. So, and there's a whole shop associated with the channel.
Now, what do you have? Shirts, hats?
I have shirts, hats, t-shirts, coffee mugs, mouse pads, all of that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Why don't you do a 30-second word?
Yeah. Well, I will say this, that the most
time coming up, Hanukkah.
Yeah, all of that kind of stuff. And one of the things I will say is that, the most important investment you make when you watch the video is your time. And I'm appreciative of that. The channel itself has produced this interaction, but for our YouTube channel, I would have not met this gentleman, and there been meeting scores of others. And so the mere fact that you take the time to click on the video, watch the video, if you're inclined, click on the thumbs up button and or subscribe to the channel, it then allows me to do things like this. So the icing on the cake is buying merch, but by no means that's something that I see that is required at all. I just want people to engage the aviation content, especially those who have the slightest inkling that they want to become aviators themselves. And that to me is the most important thing. I see food coming and it looks fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that is awesome. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, this requires a mic drop for a little bit.
Yeah, we're gonna do a little station break. We'll be all back on the other side of
You can
this.
still chit chat and talk. I need both hands for this stuff. Look at this. Ooh, yummy. This is fish tacos with salmon.
Yes, blackened salmon tacos, and it looks like some rice and beans.
Yes.
Black beans with rice, and it looks fantastic. So your brother's about to get his grub on. So.
All right.
All right. Everything that I've been doing on the channel, associated with the channel, and it's all been because of my daughter. Yeah.
With your daughter, huh?
Mm-hmm. So she's 22, but at the time I started 5 years ago, you know, she's 15, 16. And so she's into that whole social media thing.
So you look at her like, what are you talking about?
Mm-hmm. When I first got my GoPro, I had to watch a YouTube video to figure out how to get it out of the box. I couldn't even figure out how to get the damn camera out of the box.
Look at you now.
Mm-hmm.
Flying, working 3 cameras.
Exactly.
Have you ever thought of wingtip camera or?
So that's where I've been thinking about with the 360.
Mm-hmm.
That's what a lot of people do, and that way you can show like your takeoff, your landing, but it can also show like a cockpit shot. The only thing that I know is that the only thing with that whole wingtip camera is just another stream of video that I have to edit, you know.
And I have to stitch it up.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I have a GoPro 360. I really don't use it.
No. So my plan is to get instrument rated by, I'm hoping to do my check ride in November, beginning December. And
Like next week.
mm-hmm, and start doing some IFR flights locally. And that way I'm doing I didn't even see that. Sun and Fun, Oshkosh, all that good stuff. You know.
I'll take you.
And I didn't want to start doing those type of flights until I got instrument rated. You know what I mean?
Unless it's Southwest.
Exactly.
You're not there.
Exactly. But next week, Friday, pitot-static and transponder check. And then the week after that is annual. It starts annual. Mm-hmm. And that's been a trip. Airplane ownership. That's a trip.
I'm right now still renting.
Mm-hmm.
Problem being, there's multiple problems. And when the stars don't line up just right,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
you can't find the hangar.
Yeah.
Why am I going to invest money? You can't,
That's what I tell anybody. If you're going to buy an airplane, the first thing you need to do is like get on the list for hangars in every airport in your area.
I'm on the waiting list right now for Cape Cod.
Mm-hmm.
For 45.
Mm-hmm.
It used to be 25.
Mm-hmm.
Drop down.
Yeah, exactly. I think the only reason why I got into Doylestown is because they did an audit. FAA came out and did an audit of all the hangars. People were using them as storage lockers. And it's like, you guys can't do that. Yeah.
Not a paper airplane either.
Exactly. So you find mostly 172s?
You're a lot taller in person.
No, really?
I'm like How's that brother getting into it?
I will say that's the one thing I do miss about the Skyhawks. That double door. Let me tell you, that single door, man, on that Piper, getting in and out of there. Oh my gosh.
I really enjoyed your videos in PICOTT. About the vineyard in Nantucket.
I will say my favorite flight, my favorite video was Block Island. Block Island.
I used to live in Rhode Island.
Really?
15 years.
Wow.
Never been to Block Island.
Really? That's a must do because
Runway's really tiny.
it is. It is.
Fellow pilot ended up running off.
Yeah. Yeah. So I just had a good time. It reminded me more of the Caribbean in New England. You know, Martha's Vineyard is Martha's Vineyard. Nantucket. Nantucket was very interesting.
You know, it's interesting watching your videos because I feel like I'm you. Like, you're off heading, you're off altitude. Which one do you pick first?
Altitude. Always. Especially if you're too low. Because if you're risking seafaring.
Yes.
So where are you? Well, we'll do this some more, but I'm just curious. Where are you with your higher departure?
Jim, if you're looking at that, I know you are. Jim, if you're looking at that, Jim is one of my many instructors. Right before I
And
left.
hold on, I don't mean to interrupt. Jim, what I asked him is, where is he in his instrument flight training? Okay, go.
Okay, I'm on the spot. Right before leaving Cape Cod, he says, all right, well, go home now and relax. Now you know what you need to do now. What's next? I said, no, boy, go to sleep. He said, no. Take that test again. I'm like, oh, gosh. So thank you for the endorsement. I was going to use a previous endorsement for I failed the test by 1 point. For reasons, not that I didn't study. I studied my butt off. The test material was 12 to 15 years old. Thanks to the King School.
Yeah.
So I will be ready come probably next week.
Okay.
Test.
Okay.
And then the fun begins. It's 2 hour fun begins where I have to now check it out. There may be a fan. Oh, this is Lou Pesquet. Hey, Lou. I'm gonna say he's a fan of you.
Okay.
This guy is 77 years old.
Okay.
Ended up looking at my videos, was inspired to take flying lessons after his wife passed away.
Oh, wow.
He has 190 something hours.
Wow.
No licensure.
Almost 200 hours.
Yeah, can you hear me? No, don't give me a call back. Get out from underneath the sink. I have someone that you want to speak to. And answer your phone because I'm going to do big time with you. And I apologize to your friend helping you with plumbing. You're not a plumber. You need to get... Don't mess with water and don't mess with electricity. Don't call the professionals.
Brother Lou, what's going on, brother? It's Russ Can. How are you, man? What's going on?
Yeah.
How impressive. Amazing.
Yeah.
I got two guys that are mentoring. One I've met now for the first time in my life, and the other one to the other side who's mentored me as well. Amazing.
Yeah,
Very
man,
nice.
but it's definitely good to see you, good to meet you. You know, brother was telling me that you're doing your own aviation journey. I'm here to continue to encourage you, you know.
I speak for a bunch of my friends. We really do appreciate what you put out there.
Oh, good. I'm glad, you know.
Very nice.
Can we call you back because we're actually shooting live from King of Prussia, Pennsylvania here. Ah!
Have a good one, gentlemen. Very nice.
Nice meeting you, Lou. Take care,
All right,
man.
man.
Yes, sir.
Take care. All right. Bye-bye. So that was Lou Pesquet. Yep. But I don't know whether it's a fear or what, but when you get to my age, and maybe a few years on you, he has a few years on me, you get up on the airplane and you say, why am I here? What am I doing?
Why have I left the ground in a tuna can with a lawnmower engine?
Exactly.
Tell me more about Lou and his hours, and what's the barrier?
I think.
Or what do you think's happening?
I think he just likes flying.
Okay. I flew for 2.5 hours yesterday and never took the phone. And did 3 approaches. Did an RNAV GPS approach to Dorset. And had the foggles on the whole time. And so that was weird. Well, I'm here. I didn't hit anything. I didn't crash. I knew that if this was a window that was being open for me, that I wanted to be in a situation where it could be visible. And so the whole YouTube thing is how that came about. And especially in the space of middle-aged men who, post-COVID, trying to find their way.
It's like Brexit.
Exactly. You had a side chick with a sports car on.
And do we want any coffee or tea or anything else whatsoever?
Not right now.
I'm curious about those sweet potato donuts.
Yeah, they're basically donut holes that we, for the batter, we add sweet potato puree to it, or pureed sweet potatoes, I should say.
Yeah, let's do some of this.
Yeah, got it.
Yeah.
Sure.
How does that look?
So one of the things that I was asking before we went on our little station break, and as you can see, the table is now clear.
You missed a piece right there. And the little cabbage from the.
But the salmon tacos were awesome. But one of the questions I asked as we were eating lunch was where my brother was in terms of his instrument rating training.
I thought he was going to forget about it. Well, only that you're asking means you probably care. I know you're asking.
Correct.
I thank you for that. Jim up in Cape Cod, my instructor, he gave me the green light. He said to me, you know what time this is, right? I said, yeah, time to go home and relax. He said, no, it's time for you to take the test. I've taken the test once before, about a year ago. Excuse me, 2 years ago, purposely, because I wanted off my record. He said, no, that's on your record forever.
Right.
Someone in Florida, one of the instructors said, oh, yeah, if you don't do anything for 2 years, you don't have to use that score.
Mm-hmm.
That score stays with you for the rest of your life.
Right. Correct.
So, on that note, I have like several endorsements.
Okay.
So I've been taking Shepherd Air. You can ask me any question.
Mm-hmm.
Boom, boom, boom.
Right.
But not only do I know the questions, I understand the material, which is the So, that's not even a concern of mine. The concern right now, it's a realistic concern, is once you take the test, you got the 2-year clock,
Right.
or 24-year clock that ticks away. And every day that you can't fly because of the weather, or the
Right.
wind,
Right.
or whatever,
Right.
or availability of airplane, now you're ticking away.
Right.
Right before my private license, the DPE designated pilot examiner asking me, well, I looked at my application and said, geez, you're kind of really tight here. It would have been 2 years, that following week.
Oh, wow.
or something for that.
You were right up on
Right up on it.
Right.
So I knew my stuff cold. And he said to me, all right, look, enough of this. You know this stuff. Let's go flying.
Right.
I'm like, that day, my personal minimum was 8 knots.
Okay.
Down the runway. That day was 19 gusting up to 22.
Oh yeah, no, that's a discontinue.
You
did it?
I did it. I did it, man.
Man, you brave man.
No, I had it's all about money.
Yeah.
I had to fly 70 miles east of Sarasota.
To get to the DPE? Gotcha.
Yeah. And the funniest thing, Russ, my instructor flew out with me. We fly to his location. He was like flying into his driveway.
Okay.
And his hangar was, or his garage was
Right.
Really small airport. Say maybe 40 feet wide, maybe 45 feet wide. And it felt even more narrow.
Right.
Maybe 2,000 feet long. So houses on either side. All right, let's just get this thing straight.
Right.
So I got out of the airplane, and both his wife and him were standing in the driveway or taxiway. Instead of going out to greet them and shake their hand and everything, I go to the cargo section of the 72 I was flying. And I'm like, what's he getting? I had a roller bag for all my material. The FAR aim, ACS, everything. And he looked at, and also my lunch, and change of clothes. It was hot that day. He said to me, are you planning to stay? And I looked him in the eyes and said, sir, it all depends. It all depends.
Right.
And that was the icebreaker.
Right.
And I didn't mean to make it funny, but it was like, it was on.
Yeah, that's good. Well, it's interesting because the reason why I wanted to rehash that question, and I wanted to talk about that a little bit, is because one of the things that I want your audience to understand, or my audience to understand, is that this aviation journey is a marathon and not a sprint. And so in that 26 miles of running this marathon, there's going to be a mile or two that something is going to happen and it's not going to be to your liking. But the question is, what do you do when you have that mile that you're struggling? And those who complete the marathon are the ones who remember that mile 8 or mile 15 when they thought they were going to give up, but for whatever reason they found something within them. Because the first time I took the written exam for my private pilot license, I failed. And I remember thinking that day, this aviation thing is not for me. One, it's costing a lot of money. Two,
It's costing a lot of money.
Do I have that? But am I having is there an intellectual barrier here? Is there something? Now, I can tell you the reason why I failed is because I failed to study the process of taking the test, not only just the material. And there's a whole thing, and again, if you go to my channel, you'll see that, and we can link it and all that kind of stuff.
You need to do your first video.
That's right. But one of the things that I will say is that on that day, I was going to quit. I was literally going to pack my bags and just say, okay, I've done some flying, I've done some training, but this aviation thing is not for me. That very day, a guy by the name of Derek is the president of the Black Pilots Association, the Black Pilots of America, and the Russ Can Fly chapter. He called me just out of the blue, like 5 minutes after me lamenting to fail this exam. And I told him, I said, man, I don't feel like I'm not gonna fly.
You and everyone else.
I didn't tell him what had happened. I just said I just don't feel like flying. He's like, oh man, come on, you got some people, come fly, And so I went, and I remember getting in his Piper Cherokee 6. We took off and we flew the Hudson River corridor along New York. And I remember just looking out the window, seeing Manhattan go by, thinking that, man, I wish I could do this one day. And the voice spoke to me and said, "You can, but not if you quit." And it was at that point I said, okay, well, it's just an exam. I can take it again. And that's when I decided to double down. So that's why I wanted to dig into that, because one of the things that people don't see a lot of times on YouTube or in social media, they don't see the times where it's hard, or it's tough, or things go wrong. You know?
Edit all that stuff out.
Yeah. Now, but that's why I wanted to make sure, because you won't see his not failure, but his learning what he needed to do next time he took the exam on a video. But that's why I wanted to dig into that a little bit, because I didn't want anybody else to think that, you know, yeah, it's all perfect, we got it going on, because there may be somebody out in your audience who watches this video and has just failed written exam. And I want them to know that we both have that on the record, so you're not alone.
So yeah, I appreciate all that, because I you know, at my stage in life, you know, there are plenty of failures and more accomplishments than failures. So, you know, if you let the, you know, little things you got in mind, then you'll never succeed.
Right,
so,
right.
I do have to admit, when I failed the test, I missed by 1 point.
Yeah, and that's, I don't know what's worse, you know, failing and like completely flaming out, or failing by 1 point.
Well, the funny, I was upset anyway that I failed by 1 point, but I got my test score, and I asked her, what did I get? Actually, I didn't even say that. I walked downstairs and said, oh, you missed it by 1 point. And I'm like, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Got the, give me my test score. Like, no, seriously. You failed.
Right.
No, I didn't fail.
Right.
Give me my test score.
Right.
So immediately I called King School up. I want my money back. Because they have a money back guarantee.
Right.
They said, well, in order to do that, we need your test score. I said, gladly. I never thought I'd be so happy to show a failed test and get my money back.
Right.
And immediately the second call I made actually was a visit. It was a flight school before. I said, I'm making an announcement today. I'm done flying. And they're like, don't quit. It's like, no, I had a fun ride. It's like, you know, like an athlete hanging up in his shoes.
Right.
And I immediately thought, I spent all this money.
Right.
I can't just let it hang.
Right.
So, and then realizing that for King School, their test bank was 12, 15 years old. Yeah. Well,
you've done Shepherd Air, and I will tell you, anybody who's going any written exam, be it for private pilot or for, and especially for the instrument rating written test, Shepherd Air hands down.
I mean, you still have to learn the material.
Yeah, I don't know how it works. I don't know why it works, but it really does work. And I mean, in 2 weeks' time, I was prepared, and I got a 96 on my written exam.
Yeah,
exactly. So, but yeah, you come on, bring those over here.
Oh boy.
Oh man, those are serious
Look at
looking.
this stuff.
Wow, check at that.
What you guys have going on here?
So what is this here? You don't even know what it is.
Oh my gosh! It's the sweet potato. Sweet potato donut.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah. So, but yeah. So thank you,
Thank
sir.
you.
Appreciate it.
So these are sweet potato.
Sweet potato donuts. They're big.
Don't they give you a plate?
That is really good. And there's some cream or something underneath there too. That's really good. I like that.
You can see those dogs come out. How hard are they so far?
Need that plate though.
Yep, let me go back in first.
Those are fantastic.
And some forks.
Yeah, he's bougie.
Silverware as
I-
well.
He's bougie. I don't need a plate. I don't need a fork. Sure? No. You can give him one now.
I eat fries. fried chicken with a fork and knife.
Oh my gosh.
Thank you.
Yeah, no. See, I don't have the fingers. I can eat that.
I do want to mention King School was excellent in terms of learning tourism. But in terms of understanding what they're testing.
Right. My problem was when I failed the written pilot the first time, I didn't look at the ACS book. The ACS book tells you how to take that exam. And so one of the things I didn't appreciate was when you're doing that clearance over a 50-foot obstacle and you're doing that go up and go down and go over and then go down and then go over and then go up.
I don't remember that.
I'm eyeballing. And I had my series of questions had like at least 5 or 6 questions that dealt with that. So here's the temperature. You look at the temperature, you go up, and then you go over, and then it's you go down if it's I forget how it worked, but and so
that's Legend 27.
Yes. So they gave me a little plastic sheet and a marker. And so what I should have done was said, okay, I go up to this, take the marker, and then trace the thing. I eyeball it. And they knew people were going to do that. So they had 2 answers that were very close together on about 3 or 4 questions. And I always chose the wrong one because I was choosing the eyeball one, which they knew they were going to do. It was consistent.
No, you were consistent.
Mm-hmm. So I was consistently wrong.
so technically, you really didn't fail.
Right. Okay, so one of the other things that I definitely wanted to ask is, so where do you see this journey taking? Starting to get back to your instrument rating written test, which then begets instrument rating training, which then begets
CFI. Extraordinary.
No, that's awesome. That's awesome. No, you said it. You heard him say it. And if he edits this out and I see this video without it, I'm going to leave a comment down there and I'm going to flame him.
What about you?
So the reason why I asked you the question is because I don't know. It's very interesting because I think, we're in that same age cohort, I believe, right? And so the idea of me working for anybody's airline is not on the table. I've already worked for people, right? And so my next act in terms of, anything that is about generating resources is going to be because I want to do it and it's not like a job, right? So I don't know because I never suspected that this was going to happen. You joke about being a flight instructor. And I'm
laughing. I'm looking at my life before my very eyes. Darn students.
Yeah, but it's interesting. So I don't know. I do know that I love aviation. I have a passion for it, and I like being part of the folks who inspire people in it. I don't know if I necessarily want to instruct in it because then that feels like a job again, potentially.
Well, technically speaking, you are instructing. You're inspiring.
Right. So
you're telling people if they're interested, go seek out a CFI. It's not a CFI.
Right, exactly. So, but I don't know. It's interesting. I was down the Jersey Shore this summer, and I actually was sitting on the beach thinking, I know how to fly an airplane. I could do that banner tow. You know what I mean? And so, and I think
slow for you.
that would be crazy, but that would be kind of awesome. You know what I mean? And I know a lot of people who do banner towing are usually younger folks who are trying to build time for the airlines. Some kind of exuberance.
Yeah, I guess someone just won.
I guess, are the Eagles playing now?
The Eagles play later on tonight.
Okay. Something's going on.
Sunday.
But at any rate, one of the things that I love about aviation is the sky's the limit. I mean, in terms of what can be done. So I don't know. And that's why I usually always ask people who are in my same age cohort because, I'm not racing to get to the airlines. And I'm not trying to get to be, left seat captain and, Airbus and all that kind of stuff. It'd be cool, but I'm really not interested.
That's work.
Right. But I don't know. I do know that instrument rating is one of those things where, is that going to be it? Now, if it is, I think I'd be perfectly fine. You know what I mean? But I don't know.
I've learned in my stage of life, I'm 60, 61 in December.
Okay.
So airlines, they're not looking for me. And I can assure you, unless it's a first class seat.
Yeah, exactly. And that 58 going on 59, they ain't looking for me either. You know what I mean? So it is interesting. It is interesting.
It is. It gives you a different perspective. I remember 23 years old, I had a different profession. My background was engineering and did some work in the entertainment field with Paramount. But I look at these kids today, and they're all about the numbers. They're punching those tickets just to get into the left seat.
Yeah. So that's the beauty, I think, about the journeys that we're having. I don't feel any pressure to do anything quickly. Although I do have to admit that you talked about your written. Now, I'm not as close as you did it, but in April, my written for my instrument expired.
Say what?
Yeah. So that's why. Yeah. So that's why I want to be done by December at the latest. I'd really like to go into 2026 being an instrument rater. So,
and hopefully with that instrument qualification, you don't fly into
right.
That's not the intent and purpose of doing an instrument rating.
Right. Now, one other question I do have: any interest in being an aircraft owner?
I would love to be an aircraft owner for a particular reason. I'm not sharing DNA with half of Florida. And my tetanus shot plus other shots. But as much as you wipe down an airplane, it's still there.
Yeah.
1960, 1970, 1980. That's a lot of germs. So on that note, yes. And also knowing the instrumentation, the aviators.
Yeah.
That's my issue also, Achilles heel, where I look from airplane to airplane.
Right.
I'm looking here, I'm
Right.
looking there. So
Yeah,
the standard's like this,
Right.
like a bobblehead.
Right.
And that's what holds up the instrument training.
Well, one of the things I'll say that, and I've talked about this on my channel, is if you have the slightest inkling that you're going to buy an aircraft, even if it's years from now, start getting a hangar now. Because it's easier to give up a hangar because you can't find an airplane as opposed to finding an airplane and you can't find a hangar. And for all of those reasons that you mentioned. And so, really, that would be something that I would recommend, like, today. Go to every airport that's close to you, get on the waiting list now. And you may say, well, I'm really not even thinking, I'm maybe 2 years out. Well, it may take you 2 years.
It may take you about 10 years.
Yeah, really, the hangar space in this country is ridiculous. And one of the things that I wish, and if there's any airports or FBOs who are watching this video, one of the things that I think every organization that manages airports and airplane hangars, they need to do this. One, you guys should audit your wait list. One of the things that Doylestown did that I love, that basically said, if you want to remain on this wait list, you have to deposit $200 in order to stay on the wait list. That was number one. Number two, the other thing that they did was they audited the actual hangar and hangar usage space. And so every organization that deals with hangars, you definitely need to do those two audits post-haste, because there were 35 people who were on the wait list who they couldn't even get in contact with when they called them.
I was number 35, by the way. It was a different airport.
And so, you know, there was just a lot of people just taking up space on, you know, the hangar wait list. And until people had skin in the game, they just kept their, I'm on a wait list on a hangar, for a hangar at an airport, and I have a hangar, and I have no intention. But I'm not going to call them and say, take my name off, unless they call me. There's airplanes out there that need rescue. You know, I mean, I can't tell you.
Your next show.
Yeah,
Airplane rescue.
Well, there's somebody who already does that out of Kashahaken. You know, airplane rescue. He actually has a great channel. You should check it out.
Hangar rescue.
Yeah, but you know, it's the GA. You know, for legacy aircraft is challenged as well. And there's a bunch of fantastic airplanes that I know for a fact are languishing in hangars, and it's only because, you know, there's the person out there who loved on their airplane. They probably lost their medical, but they just couldn't bring themselves to sell their airplane. They got sick, or, you know, or they passed away suddenly, and the family doesn't even understand what it is about that, or what that expense that they keep paying every month, or even what's in it. And there's a perfectly good Bonanza or Piper Cherokee or something sitting in a hangar.
Excellent capitalist idea. For the folks watching out there, you want to will us there. And on the back end, we're going to get on every wait list for a hangar.
Right, exactly.
Across the country, we'll just sell the spots as they come by.
There's a guy named Open Source GA. He has a wonderful YouTube channel you should check out too. His whole platform is exactly this, is basically rescuing general aviation aircraft. One of the reasons why I think that's brilliant is because I think there's a false scarcity in the market which has been driving up prices. I believe that there are many more aircraft available that would allow the market to be reasonable. I mean, you go on Trade a Plane, and this is not, I'm not trying to diss Trade a Plane, but you go on there, and people are asking for some exorbitant prices for some of those aircraft. Well, some of that had to do with the fact that post-COVID, people were doing the general aviation flying as opposed to flying commercially. And so people were snapping up airplanes like crazy. And of course, that scarcity, the marketplace, basically prices rise.
But you hear this. That's all interesting and great last week.
Right.
Another couple of months you'll have Mosaic.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So new qualifications and standards for much more sophisticated aircraft
Right,
out
right,
there that are
right.
new, fresh,
Right,
and
right.
better avionics.
Right,
So
right.
the relics of 1970s, 1980s, they're gonna wish they sold, when they did.
Right. Well, I will tell you this. I am a airplane owner of a relic from the 60s.
Which is great.
And, and you will never get me to get into anybody's sport airplane. I'm not interested. And the Rotax engines, no, thank you. Nope. And I'm sure, like our brother Mike Ojo, right? He was the poster child for the slings and all that kind of stuff. I got to tell you, brother, I saw that airplane. I'm good.
TV and YouTube gives you a false sense of reality. I was at Sun and Fun a couple years ago, and I got into a sling.
Okay.
Well, first of all, I looked at the sling.
Okay.
TSI. And I said, I can't do it.
Yeah.
And the owner was like, oh, of course you can. Come on up, come on in.
Pour yourself into that thing,
He
but
says to me in this brand new sling, you got to step on the seat, the nice leather seat to get in. I'm not stepping on your seat. So
right.
No, step on it, step on it.
Right.
And getting out of that airplane, I saw his eyes like, I need to call the yellow light to get out.
And this has been a pleasure. So thank you.
What aviation does.
That's right.
People
That's
place
right.
together.
Who knew? Right? All right, brother.
All right, man.
It's been wonderful.
You too. Stay safe up there.
Absolutely.
Have fun.
Absolutely.
And thank you folks for tuning in. And check Russ Can Fly.
Russ Can Fly!
Fly all day long, all night long. Pennsylvania.
On my channel, you will see that there are times where I have had failures as part of my journey. In fact, the first time I took a written exam for the private pilot license,
He is. I don't want him to. Yeah, he is
He's smiling.
Excuse me, man. We're here to take you here. Okay, thank you.
all right, take two.
That's why you got that clapper. We're ready to done out here.
Oh my gosh. Oh my
Russ
God.
Can Fly,
Two.
take
Oh my gosh, I tell you.
We're going to keep that on the bloopers.
Exactly. But
You guys sit the same microphone. You want to be on TV then?
oh.